Hi, I'm Chris Wilkin, and today I'm going to be discussing organizational culture and structures. My current company has a strong corporate culture. They're outcome oriented. They're heavily focused on results. They document all the action, and they're really driven by achievement. They want to achieve the organization's objectives. Some of the artifacts within the office include a display wall of their awards and accomplishments. So they really highlight their recognitions and what they've achieved. And that's really triggered down to the employees as well. It's well known as to who won what project, what deal was sold. And it really kind of recognize and reward people upon winning. But there's also several subcultures in the organization. The sales team, for example, have a very aggressive subculture. Some of the things that you may hear in a typical sales meeting is, let's really, kill the competition. Let's beat them. Let's really win this. Let's make sure we're blowing everyone else, out of the mix type of language. So it's really focused on the competitive nature, which is kind of common in a sales environment. The sales reps also operate in a silo, kind of individually, and they consistently measure sales reps against one another. So there's a lot of compare and contrast between what one sales rep may have done sales volume wise compared to another. So those are kind of the dynamics of the culture in my company and the subculture of the sales team. Despite the company being focused on the outcome and being outcome oriented, that's not necessarily the culture within the big picture. What makes my company unique is that it was an innovative company that was acquired by a larger company that was focused on achievement and kind of outcome. So we're kind of blending the two between innovation and outcome oriented. Recently, there's been a huge change in the company, with a part of the acquisition. And one of the reasons they acquired our company is because they want to transition into an innovative company. So there's a huge cultural shift happening right now. There's a new CEO there who used to work for a tech company. There's change in leadership. There's new benefits. There's new symbols and diversity plans. So there's a lot of change happening in the organization right now. New KPIs and agendas. So I'm kind of experiencing, like, in progress, a culture change within the organization and a shift toward being a innovative culture. One of the key reasons for the change is not really any kind of tempered radical person that's driving change slowly. It's really more of a industry shift. Um, One trend that we're noticing is that the environment or the industry of automation and controls and building systems were heavily geared toward energy savings and energy efficiency. Most recently, with the development of Internet of Things technology, we're starting to see a lot of movement toward data and sensory data. For example, it used to be that in the commercial building space, you were primarily focused on how to reduce energy. Now we're looking at different solutions that are really geared toward the occupants of the building, such as co-space offices, remote workers, increased data, artificial intelligence driving different business decisions. So there's really a industry shift, and in tune, the company is responding with a cultural shift in order to keep up and try to keep up with the new change of the industry and the landscape of the environment. As I think about how the industry and the changing and how the organization particularly is changing, I really have to evaluate kind of my personality and my cultural fit to the organization, which is quite different. I'm heavily on the power and influence. as the primary motivator, while the organization is now switching to an innovative type of corporate structure. Um, some of the differences between them, between my personality, is that in a power and influence type of motivating factor, you look for things such as clarity in your role, your responsibilities, a clear line of who is the supervisor, who's not, as well as a clear career path. Those are some of the key efforts that you look for and the traits that you look for. And on the other end of it, you know, the advantages of shifting to a innovative organization is that it becomes more of a flat organization from a hierarchy perspective, and that changes a lot of dynamics. That intended to eliminate excessive management, improve coordination and communication. It's intended to drive an entrepreneurial spirit within the organization. So that kind of structure really downplay the titles and statuses of people like myself who were formerly directors or VPs and primarily identified as leaders based upon a title or position held, which is very new and different. So it'd be an interesting transition as the company changes, for both the company to change the culture as well as for the workers like myself to adapt and evolve to be able to deal with a new modern structure for these type of organizations.